Hey, tonight we did a really special workshop, which was catching up after 2025 and all the workshops that we've done. And we had a chat with me and a couple of the girls that had been in the workshop and had a glass of wine as we revisited some of the workshops that we've done in 2025. But more importantly, we took a real deep dive into what is going to happen into 2026, which is why I'm going to put this video up for everyone to have a look at because it was really good. There's a lot that's happening in 2026, and it's the year of self support. And with self support comes a lot. And it was giving you an insight into what that's going to look like. So, if you like, have a look and let me know what you think in the comments. Follow us for more. There's going to be so many more workshops and things that we do in 2026 to help you get better at supporting yourself. Next year is the year of self-support. So when I was talking about unlike the year I support myself, it's changing a little bit. And it comes back to the year of it's both self-support and I support myself. And we'll work it out as we go. But even in self-support, it's that real, it's the hand on your heart, what do I need moment that we're holding the space for ourselves. That is so important to be able to really see what it is in that whole big picture that we need. It's like, and so for me, in trying to understand this over the last few weeks, because it comes in different ideas and thoughts and stuff that you get. This is what's come through so far, which not through me, amazed me. Because if you and I had all of us have a conversation about supporting ourselves, all of us would go, hey, actually, we've got our list. We're not bad at it. We've been working. We've done 65 workshops. We're actually working really well on learning how to support ourselves, have a boundary, have a voice, all of that. So what's come in, which is going to be the game changer for next year, and we're going to work on that. So it will be one of our first workshops after we do our word, is for us to support ourselves, we have to open up the door for the ability to receive. Now, when we have people that are very good at supporting themselves, we support ourselves really well because we've come from a place that we were the ones that had to support us. So we're actually quite hyper independent. I've got me. I don't rely on my hubby. I don't rely on my kids. I don't rely on my mums. I don't rely on my friends. I support me. So what happens is when we have that statement where it's like the responsible, we've talked about being overly responsible. I can support me. I've got me. It's fine. So what I found really interesting is if I have me and we've got then the whole 100% of our ability to receive, but I'm going, yeah, but I don't trust that it's coming in for anywhere else. I'll do it by myself. I'll do it my way. It's fine. I'm shutting down, letting anyone help me. So my ability to be supported or support myself is probably around 30%. Because the rest of the 70% of letting life or anything else support me, I shut the door to because I will do it by myself. Because I know that I'm going to keep myself safe, that I can get through financially, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I've got me. And so when we look at that, we think that we're safe. But if we look at the true energy of the whole universal world and how it's meant to work, and the person sitting at my soul table is going, we want all these good things to happen to her. Let's type them up and send them down. Someone's like, oh, you can't send them to her. It's shut. The door is shut. She can't receive it because she won't let it in because she doesn't let anyone help her. So it's really interesting because I'm like, oh, this is a way more complicated year than I thought. I was like, nah, I've already ticked this year off. I'm already done. And when I looked at it this way, I'm like, I'm in big trouble. Because I'm like, wow, I'm so hyper independent that asking for help has not been something, it's been something I've been learning and working on. So maybe that's a beautiful word for next year. But it's a real shift in going, I'm going to open the door up to receive without questioning where it comes from. Now, how I was trying to explain it to people today, which I found really interesting, was when we feel like we have to receive, it's like someone giving you a really awful Christmas present. Think about that. So you have to get the stinky hand cream that you don't like, or the candle that smells horrendous, or the wine that you're never going to drink, or the talcum powder that smells awful. I'm making it up, but just say you're going to get something that you hate, but you have to accept it. This is how we feel like we have to receive. You've got to just, you have to be grateful for what you're given. And so remember, when we're talking about grateful, I then owe you something. So when we're talking about receiving and we do it this way, we think that the universe is just going to drop off whatever it wants to us, and we don't get a say, which means we're now going to shut that down and go, do you know what? Thanks for trying. I'm going to do it my way because I really think that I've got a better plan than you, which is why we get a life bomb, because we totally block it. So this way, the way I'm trying to describe it is going, okay, instead of having to take the present that you're going to get, that the universe or someone else is going to give you, let's imagine that we're going to walk through a market, a beautiful market on a beautiful sunny day. And as we're meandering through, you get to stop at the things that you like. The little cashmere blankie, or the sound bowl, or the crystal over here, or the homemade marmalade, or the fresh cookies that someone made, or the beautiful cuppa. And you get to stop at exactly what you want and take that with you, because we still get to choose. Because remember, when receiving, we have to have us in it. Remember how does that feel? So when we do that, we trust our intuition to go, hey, the universe has dropped this opportunity off for me. That feels okay. I'm going to let that in. But it mightn't also at that particular moment, and I don't have to let it in. So if the universe dropped off Prince Charming to you, it's probably not the best example because we've roasted Prince Charming for 65 workshops probably in a row, but say you don't have to accept Prince Charming. Or we could turn around and go, okay, I'm so glad that you're in my life, but the way I need to feel safe in the world, I'm going to see you once a month on a Saturday, no sleepovers, and you can't call me more than that. And it's perfectly acceptable that that's how we receive, if that's what we need, because we've checked in. So when we open receiving up, we're also opening, I'm going to open my check-in up, because I don't just have to receive what I'm given, because I still get a choice, because I'm allowed to make choices for what feels right for me while I'm living on earth and having my earth experience. Because I can't not learn what I'm learning, because my soul self is always going to give me that opportunity, but I can actually choose how I'm going to learn that if I need to. Because I might not feel ready to go back through that relationship, but I might feel ready to have a friendship. So I can choose the friendship over the relationship. I could choose the dog over the friendship, over the relationship. So I'm going to be presented what it is I need to learn in multiple ways, but I can choose how I receive it. But by me learning to open up this channel to receive shifts me into so much more potential. We come to earth to have an earth experience, and then we almost hold the expectation that's going to be terrible, because for so much it's life bombs, and we hold on to the negative, and we don't understand when we have a situation that we didn't get that was awful. We don't understand it. So then what happens is we shut it down, and it becomes a trauma, and we never want to go through it again. So this way, with us being able to really hold that space open, we can be able to have the experience, take away all the why I'm different, why I would go through that, what that means for me, what I'm learning, but then keep it open to choose how I want to experience things next. Now, having that whole channel open means that I've now opened the door for all the experiences, which means I can experience abundance, and I'm happy to experience, what Tatsoto feels like, or what financial freedom feels like, or what laughing with girlfriends feels like, or what being all of the things. We're allowed to experience all, but we've shut it down and we only experience this much. Gosh, I feel like I'm in a TED talk, but do you get it's why I get so passionate, because I'm like, this next year is so much more amazingly complicated than I thought, in the way that when we say it's about me supporting myself, like depth, hardcore, smack about supporting myself. Supporting myself means I have to actually have my ability to receive open and ask for help and let people in and all of that, and still choose. Otherwise, I'm really not supporting myself at all. I'm limiting it and just doing it my way from fear. And I'm like, whoa, that's huge.
The other thing I think, Mel, when we kind of like when we are supporting ourselves and we get to that place where we're doing it so much better, are we then like being too controlled in that way, that we're not letting other people help us because we can do it? So are we then becoming like a control freak type thing?
I think that
Do you think?
depends on, I really think that depends on this. So, well, I'm going to answer this in a circle because it's me. I think it depends on the circumstances, but I think for me, it's been a very long time in my life where people would say, "Do you need help?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm fine." And it would feel better that if I could do it, I feel like I'm not. Actually, that's what it was. I had a girl today. Again, it's a bigger circle than I thought this was going to be. And she said, "I feel like a burden." And I was like, so she's like, she was saying she had friends that offered to come and help her paint her house. And she said, I actually went and got a quote for someone to paint my house because I don't feel like I can let them paint my house. And I'm like, that's interesting and huge. And I'm like, she's like, I feel like a burden. I'm like, where does that come from? And it's a real worthiness. When you pull that apart, it came back for her to a real worthiness. Like, I don't know if I feel like I deserve it. And it's like, where does that come from? And it's from our childhood that we have to earn it, which is a belief that we grew up with. And if someone's going to help you, you have to earn it. If you're going to get money, you have to earn it. If you have to work hard and you'll get paid, and then you deserve a good wage and a good house and a good this and a good that. You have to deserve the good things that you get, which means you have to earn the good things that you get. It can't just be an experience. And so for her, for it to just be an experience, she felt like a burden with that. It was unfair on other people, which is very intertwined in this. There's a belief system that we had packed in our little backpacks that we have to unpack to give us the ability to receive, which I think makes so much sense. I didn't answer your question yet. So in your question being, do we become kind of stuck in that way? I think it's being able to realize that we are 100% alone to be able to support, to understand ourselves in life. That's why I'm here. I need to understand me, and I have to come back to unpacking my story to know I'm working on how to support myself, how to listen to myself, how to be there for me. I have to know me, that know that if I had a conversation with you, I'm very likely to not say how I feel, lose my voice, shut down, which means I have to then be able to support myself to go, hey, that's not our truth. Let's come back and have a boundary or say what we need to say. So it means in that moment of the emotional reaction that I'm having with a person, I've now got me, because I can recognize what's happening in my emotional journey in this moment. So first and foremost, we have to have us, but then to create experiences, we need to build teams. And that's where people come in. Because remember, part of our soul, what we talk about coming to earth, the most important thing we need is to belong. And so first and foremost, I have to belong to me and understand what I'm learning and why I'm here. If I can do that, I'm never going to abandon myself. which is what we work so hard on, is coming back to not abandoning ourselves. Once I'm there enough that I can know that I've not, I'm not going to self-abandon, or if I do, I recognize it quickly, the most fun is to then go make teams with people, because you think different to me and you think different to me, and together it means I'm back in my ladder sideways and I'm with the square. I can look out on my square and go, wow, that looks fun. I've never thought about doing it that way. I'm going to go hang out with her, because you're experiencing life differently, which gives me a broader way to experience life, more fun. If I want to feel strong, I look over there and go, wow, that looks amazing. I never thought of doing it that way. I'm going to give that a go. So I'm going to go and hang out with this little square, with this little person. So we need help with people in a sideways ladder to have more experiences, to have more fun, to learn more about ourselves, which is when asking for help and collaborating becomes that beautiful intertwined sideways journey of experiencing a ladder sideways, of everyone having a little square and community living, which is how we're meant to live. The problem is we belong by the ladder. So it means for me to belong, I now have to abandon me and go jump on the ladder and be better than someone, or not as good, which means I end up in lane 3, or be better, which means I can climb the ladder and I feel like you'll keep me and I belong in our little club because you like me because I'm good at the same things you're good at. But I'm not learning, I'm just matching you. Does it make sense? So for me to ask for help, I'm also putting myself in a position potentially of being judged, which doesn't feel safe for me. So one of us will win. So like when I have a relationship now, if I do a ladder relationship, which is 99% of relationships, give or take, means that me and my husband are climbing the ladder, and one of us wins and one of us loses. One of us always gets to put the other one down. And you see that when, there's conversations and you like, someone says Tuesday and the other one's like Tuesday morning. It doesn't matter that it's Tuesday, but we're winning. We always have to, we overcorrect each other, or we put each other down. So we almost are delighted when they make a mistake, or they get a name wrong, or they get a present wrong, or they do something wrong, because in the argument, we're just doing this. And remember, when one person wins, no one wins. And that's moving us away from helping each other. We destroy each other. We put each other down. Whereas this way, so I don't know if I've quite answered your question yet, but I think it's so essential for us to realize that first and foremost, I'm alone here to understand myself, and it's not lonely. It's amazing, because I need to take the time to step out of the game of life and understand what my life means for me so far by unpacking it. This is what happened when I was little. I'm the middle child. This is what I've been working on. These were how I felt when I was little. Hey, wow, that's a thread. This is how I feel now. How interesting. I'm still working on feeling supported, or getting a voice for myself, or not feeling rejected. You're like, wow, that's like such a thread. When I know that, I can now come into the game of life and support myself so much better that I can keep turning that ladder sideways every single time someone talks to me. Which means I can now, instead of looking at you going, wow, you're so much better than me at that, I can't ask you for help, I'm embarrassed, I can go, oh my gosh, you're so amazing at this, tell me what you know, I'd love to learn more. And I create a team. So the true way we're meant to live is little teams. And remember, we've talked about magnets. When you have a magnet, you connect with someone because you're both learning and teaching and learning in the same space. One will teach, one will learn, vice versa. But we're now just doing it more consciously. That you're like, wow, that person, I had such an interesting conversation with them. Yes, same what you're learning. So because we know now that that's a thing, you would actually go back and speak to them again. I'd love to catch up with you again. This was really lovely. Because for whatever moment that is, there's something there for both of you, which we're allowed to have that with even random strangers. That's why friends come in and out. Did that answer your question in the biggest, roundest, longest circle ever? This year was the year of the snake in Chinese medicine. And remember, Chinese medicine starts around Feb, Chinese zodiac, around Feb. And it was the year of the snake, which is shedding and transformation. So it's like getting rid of the, the old skin, all that kind of stuff. At the same time, wow, someone might help me with that word.
Numerologically.
Thank you. That one. Team effort, right? It was a 9-year, and a 9-year is an ending. So when you add up like 2025, it comes into 9, is the ending. It's an ending year. So you've added the snake transformation and an ending year at the same time. There was a lot of closure out of things, which it kind of feels like
There has been
heavy and long, and lots of death and lots of people waking up and people trying different things or not liking things, or so much. And so moving into 2026 is a 1 year. That's number one. And ones is fresh starts, new beginnings, lightness, new perspectives, clean slate. And so we're not tying up all the ends. We've wiped everything.
Fresh start. Wow, that's beautiful.
So it's like we move on.
It's literally dump and run. Because it's transformation and ending, it's a dump and run. So it means the whiteboard's been wiped, there's nothing on it, and we're free to go. And then the Chinese zodiac comes in on the 17th of Feb, and the 17th of Feb is the horoscope of the horse, and the horse is massive, moving forward at a fast pace, all of that kind of stuff, movement and kicking things up and all of that. So it's a very different, fast, vibrant, fun, exploring, where am I going, but in a curious way, energy. So it's not rushed. Like almost this year was like shedding, and a 9, it was like squishing everything into the end. It was rushed. Whereas a 1 is I don't actually even have a path, but I've got a horse. Where am I going to go? This will be fun. So if you've got a plan, you could probably travel quicker. So those of us that do like big business plans and things like that, if you're organized, that can move quicker because you've made the plan. If you've wanted the plan of the house or the baby or things like that, that's it. But if you don't have a plan, it's the time to explore because there's no pressure. There's no have to's. You don't have to get anywhere. You don't have to get anything done. So it's the curiosity of knowing where life is going to take you, or the freedom to know that life's got you. It's the experience. We're just going to see where it goes, but I'm not afraid of it. That's the beauty of next year. Like it's literally like free time in a prep classroom.
Wow.
Go play with whatever you want on the shelf.
Wow.
And there's fun things when you're in a prep classroom.
With
the things on the shelf.
I can't really remember that far back.
There was probably no fun things on your prep classroom. God, no. No fun things.
Possibly not.
There's been such a heaviness from this year, and people are exhausted. But also remember, we're finishing an endings year or of a big transformation year. Of course, people are exhausted. So while I still think that, it's the year of, when I say it's year of self-support, I tune into that. So I get a message every year of what it's going to be like for people next year. It's been a thing for maybe 10 years or so. It's been a while every year. It's kind of cute. I get a theme word, and it's always been on point, like crazy on point. And I suppose now I just share it more openly because it makes more sense to. And then when you start listening to, there's quite a few people that talk about energy coming up and energy insights into January or February or whatever, and you listen to them, it's so aligned, which is why I now say more about it, because that's really helped confirm, I'm actually on the right track. I'm not making it up. It's just because you work with people, it's the feeling that you get. So I really trust that feeling now. And often that feeling kind of comes in about January, but this year it came in really early. It came in like end of October, November.
But can you just repeat it again?
The year of self-support.
Okay.
Which could be the year I support myself. Either way, same, right?
Yeah.
But in that, it also means that if it is the year of self-support, If
Yeah.
you're not supporting yourself, it's going to make you have to. So you know how we come in going, don't worry about me, it doesn't matter, I'm fine. As long as everyone else is happy, I'm happy, which is total self-abandonment in a disguised way of,
Yeah.
you know, it will not put up with that next year because it's the year of self-support. So if you try and get around not supporting yourself, guess what? You will be made to. Now, the ways that you get made to support yourself are,
Love bombs.
right? Life bombs. So while we've had a year of life bombs for so many people, that for me, the
Oh,
feeling
no more life bombs.
that is absolutely.
I am done. Number 9, we've closed the year on life bombs.
But we can, if we move into the self-support stuff, which we are, and we're good, and we're going to open the channel to receive, we've got this, right? Because we got that little insight, and I'm like, oh, this is way bigger than I thought. But if we're not allowing ourselves to support ourselves, or the universe to support us, or that supporting, or all of that comes with it, we will be made to. And so if you don't like anyone helping you, you might stub your toe and break your toe or sprain your ankle. And so guess what? You can't drive yourself around. You can't cook. You can't make your cup of tea and bring it to the couch. You can't ... Which means you're going to have to let someone help you.
The trouble I'm having is that the life bombs that my nearest and dearest are experiencing are impacting me, and I can't control or influence their life bombs, but there's such an overflow.
So remember the workshop that we did, which was how do I support myself when my loved ones won't support themselves? So that, because that's the hardest thing when you see someone that you care about have a life bomb, because a lot of the people we love and care about, and this will be a big thing next year, this is going to continue for so many people, because life is really realigning people to become self-aware. It just is. We've just moved to that point where self-abandonment, we used to get a ticket for self-abandoning. We used to be praised for it. Now you can't, it's not the right energy anymore to do it. So we're really shifting, and the youth shift, but the older you are, the harder it is to shift. So there's a real conflict in all of that. So as much as I'd love to magic wand it and say, no, fine, no, I don't believe so. So I think next year could be particularly as challenging with the people that we love, watching them go through the shit show. So again, the only way there was someone else, I was spending 2 days in dire straits of not coping well, and it's the stepping out and the stepping out, and they keep stepping out to go, what does this mean in, let's reframe this. What does this mean in 3 months, in 6 months, in 2 months? What can this look like to be able to get breathing space in something when it's so intense? Because that's so hard. We know how hard it is to live through moments of when your life blows up, and we don't grieve. And so because we don't allow ourselves to grieve, and everyone wants us better, so even if it's our loved ones going through a hard time, we get scared when our loved ones are going through a hard time because we don't want them to be broken, particularly when we have things like suicide and all of that around. It's even more terrifying. So we just need them to look like they're okay, because I can't deal with feeling like you might be so bad that you don't want to be here anymore. And so in that whole space, we're not allowing grief to hold the power and the place that it needs to have to process us through, which is hard, really hard, so I imagine even in that, interestingly, there'll be just so much more things on grief that come up, which is why, there's 4 workshops on grief. I think it might be 5. There's a massive life bomb bundle now with, 11 of the workshops and stuff in that all talk about all of these things, because really we're reframing perspective. And that's the power that we have to be able to get the space to support ourselves, is reframing perspective, coming back to present time, knowing that this isn't going to last forever, knowing it's just one of our experiences that we're going to have on earth, and it might be a shit one, but it's not going to end here. You know, it's those little bite-sized bits that we need to get us through in the moment, in the day, in that minute by minute, in the crisis of that situation, before we can, you know, breathe.
Do you think that sometimes when, like in our relationships with other people, I don't just mean like, you know, husband and wife, but I mean our, you know, all of our relationships with other people, when people see and experience us supporting ourselves and looking after ourselves better, do you think that helps to influence them in some way to do that better for themselves?
Both. Absolutely. I think that if someone played the role that they felt that they had to be responsible for you, and then they see that you're actually finding a way to support yourself or look after yourself, it alleviates them of that responsibility, which means they can return the focus to themselves rather than you, which means you can then make a team. We're both gonna bring a happy version of us back. And that's such a beautiful outcome. And that's the outcome that we would love from those situations. What I find that can happen, what I often find happening is in relationships when you've got a partner that you've met because you felt like you needed stuff, you needed to be rescued or looked after, and that's what we attract. They're the looker afterer. So if you get to the point that you've done some work that you go, hey, I feel really good and I feel like I can look after myself, and you step this way, this person gets terrified that you're going to leave them.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of them being free to go, wow, I'm so proud of you, I'm so excited that you're doing it by yourself, this is what I've always wanted, you go, girl, let's now make a team. This person goes, fuck, I can't believe, they get mad and they get angry at you and sassy, and they can't believe you have new friends and why you're going out and what you're doing and why you're
And you've
successful,
changed.
why you're successful at work, and that you changed because
Yeah.
you don't love me anymore. So they become really insecure, and then they actually try and do the hierarchy relationship, and then they try and squish you and they push you down the ladder to try and make them feel safer, to remind you that you need them. You can't survive without them. So it becomes really difficult. It can become really difficult, and it's pushback. And this is when we do the someone wins, someone loses. In that situation, that happens a lot. We do a reset when I work with couples. We do a reset, and I might only be working with one of the couples. So that can be tricky because you've only got one perspective that you're working with, and the other person's really not on board with what we're saying. But if one person is prepared to pause the flow in the way the relationship was going, you can rescue it in a way that you come and go, hey, I've been doing some work. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm working on. I'm never leaving you. I'm really empowered to go and have this career or do this. I'm really excited. I've never felt more empowered. Let's do some things that build us together. So it's a resetting going, I'm going to call you out when you start putting me down because you don't actually want to put me down. I think you're just a little bit scared that things are changing at home now, which often happens when women go back to full-time work after having kids and stuff, or the woman now has a job that pays more. And again, we're going back, it's probably not so much now in the younger generation, but certainly in the older generations, that was a thing. Because because men used to feel safe because their job was just safe. They were safe because they were the provider. They didn't have to do anything, they just provided. Whereas they haven't for years. Women provide as well. We meet them equally in, you know, in jobs, and far better often in our parenting skills and our organization skills and running a home. And so we don't need them, which means they become more insecure. Which is a whole masculine energy thing that we talked about in a workshop that was this year, that was really quite interesting.
I find that with friendships a lot.
This is when we
Yeah.
get to the point, hey, I really know me now that doesn't match. It's not healthy for me. Everything in my body goes, oh, that doesn't feel right. It's like it's not an equal, I'm not getting a buzz. My ladder is so not sideways when I'm with that person. I feel so at the bottom. That you're like, that's not actually, and this is when we go, is that relationship safe for you? Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? You're like, no, that's not safe for me to feel like I'm there. Which is then we get to make the empowered choice of how much energy we put into that. Because we're allowed to choose to not have to put energy into things that don't serve us. And this is a thing that we've not learned because we've got to do the right thing and not upset people. It's like, yeah, but you're also allowed to support you, which is, again, when we go to next year, the year I support myself, right? That's huge. It's huge when you
Might
think
ruffle
about
a few feathers.
Yes.
So yeah, when you kind of unpack it, be like, oh, they're staying. This is like a little bomb already. But it's exciting because it's bringing us back to being authentic. And this year was the year of authentic self. So how we couldn't move forward any other way but this way.
Yeah.
So it's almost comical that you're like, oh God, here we go. Here we go. This will be fun. From where we've come from. So if you were writing this script, you'd be like, oh, let's drop this in. Let's see how they go with this theme.